Now gather round, if you please, and lend an ear to a tale as old as the moss on the north side of a very, very old tree. It's a story whispered by the wind through the ancient oaks, a chuckle carried on the breeze from the deepest, most forgotten corners of the forest. Not every legend is about dragons or valiant knights, you see. Some are far more grounded. This particular yarn concerns a woman, a rather remarkable individual who lived deep within the Whispering Woods. Her name, if you were brave enough to ask, was Bertha. But most folks, if they spoke of her at all, simply called her the woman with the big feet. And oh, what feet they were. Not just a little bit large, mind you, but truly magnificent in their scale. We're talking about feet that could comfortably serve as small canoes, or perhaps very sturdy, if somewhat lumpy, picnic tables. They were the kind of feet that made even the largest lumberjack's boots look like dainty slippers. It was said that when Bertha walked, the very earth sighed in resignation. Her footsteps weren't just impressions, they were geological events. Small ponds would form in her heel prints after a good rain, attracting ducks who thought they'd found a new, temporary wetland. These colossal appendages, naturally, led to a life of unique challenges and even more unique advantages. Finding shoes was, of course, an absolute nightmare. Cobblers would simply faint at the sight of her measurements, muttering about needing to fell an entire forest just for the soles. So Bertha mostly went barefoot, which, while liberating, did lead to some rather dramatic incidents. One time she accidentally flattened a particularly stubborn badger hole, much to the badger's indignant surprise. Another time she cleared a path through a dense thicket simply by walking through it, leaving a perfectly straight, if somewhat cratered, trail behind her. The local villagers, a superstitious but generally good-natured lot, had their own theories about Bertha's feet. Some believed she was blessed by the earth spirits, capable of taming the wildest terrain with a single stride. Others whispered she was cursed, doomed to forever trip over her own extremities. One enterprising young man, a shoemaker's apprentice named Finn, once attempted to craft Bertha a pair of boots. He spent weeks gathering the hides of several very large cows and even larger bears. The resulting footwear was less boots and more small, furry sheds. Bertha tried them on, but found them rather cumbersome for her daily strolls. Her feet weren't just for walking, though. Oh no. Bertha discovered their surprising versatility. She once used her foot to gently nudge a runaway cart back onto the path, saving a farmer's entire harvest of pumpkins. Another time, she accidentally squashed a particularly aggressive swarm of hornets, much to the relief of a group of picnicking fairies. The forest creatures, initially wary, eventually grew accustomed to her presence. Squirrels learned to use her footprints as convenient shortcuts, and rabbits would sometimes nap in the shade of her enormous toes. She became, in her own peculiar way, an integral part of the woodland ecosystem. Bertha lived a long and happy life in the Whispering Woods, her giant feet carrying her through countless adventures. She never did find a pair of shoes that truly fit, but she didn't mind. Her feet were a part of her, a grand, undeniable extension of her whimsical spirit. And so the tale of Bertha and her magnificent feet continues to be told, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary things are also the most wonderfully absurd. So next time you're in the woods, keep an eye out. You might just spot a particularly large, perfectly circular puddle, and know that Bertha, or at least her legend, has passed that way.